Starting our talk about Chapter 2, Section 2 on general equations. The very first question we want to ask is, if you solve an equation of the form ax plus b equals c, what process is followed to rewrite the equation in the form where our variable is isolated equal to some constant? Well, that's actually easily shown. In general, what's going to happen each and every single time is that we're going to start by subtracting our constant b from both sides in order to isolate the variable exponent. So we're going to isolate our variable exponent, the variable term, first by subtraction. Okay, so that means ax plus b equals c. We would subtract b from both sides in order to isolate the x variable term. The next thing that we're going to do after that is that we're going to divide both sides by whatever constant is in front of x on both sides. So we're going to next divide to isolate x, or isolate the variable. Okay. So in this case, x would equal whatever we get from c minus b over a. I'll make a quick note right here that it doesn't have to be division. It could also be a multiplication if it involves some kind of fraction, right? We're multiplying by a fraction, or multiplying by a reciprocal of a fraction, and so on. Let's go through these two examples here just to get a quick idea. I've got 8a plus 3 equals 10. And our first step is to start by isolating our variable term using subtraction in this case. So we've got 8a plus 3. We want to get the 3 out from the left-hand side onto the right-hand side, because we're going to subtract 3 from both sides equally. Subtracting 3 on both sides gives us 8 times a is equal to 10 minus 3, that's 7. Next, we would divide both sides by 8 in order to isolate the variable. Remember, 8 divided by 8, any number divided by itself is 1, and 1 times the variable is itself, and so our solution would be a equals 7/8. Now our second equation right over here, similar idea. It doesn't matter that the arrangement is different. We have our variable term, 5h over here, so in order to isolate that, we're going to go ahead and subtract the non-variable term 12 from both sides. So always start with the subtraction first. In this case, we don't have to show it side by side as I was doing in my earlier example. We might as well show it vertically if we're writing it out on paper. So I would subtract 12 from the left-hand side, subtract 12 from the right-hand side. This gives me negative 5 on the left-hand side is equal to 5 times h on the right-hand side. Now we can divide both sides by the multiplier 5 on the left and on the right. This gives us negative 1 on the left is equal to h on the right, which is a fine arrangement for saying that h is equal to negative 1. So we've solved our equations.